The year 2024 was anything but ordinary, marked by events so shocking they seemed straight out of a thriller. Headlines recounted chilling murders and courtroom dramas that uncovered startling secrets, gripping the nation and leaving an indelible mark. Each story seemed more shocking than the last, raising questions that lingered long after the verdicts were delivered. It was a year of the unexpected. Crimes shattered communities, exposing hidden truths and the fragility of trust. From solving cold cases to unraveling lives built on deception, these stories highlighted the devastating impact of betrayal and the lengths people go to protect or destroy those closest to them. Just when it seemed there couldn't be more surprises, another twist would surface. Evidence that rewrote narratives, revelations that defied reason, and endings that left us with more questions than answers. These cases remind us of the haunting unpredictability of real life. And as we delve into them, one truth emerges. The unsettling reality is often the most compelling story. Let's begin. The case of Yes Nazia Harris. Yes Nazia Harris, a lively 13-year-old, became the tragic symbol of a custody dispute gone terribly wrong. Her story began in Detroit, Michigan in January 2024 during a contentious custody exchange between her parents. On that day, she was abducted by her father's relative, Jarvis Butts, a man with a violent past. Witnesses reported heated arguments and threats before Yes Nazia was forcibly taken. An immediate and extensive search was launched, involving helicopters, search dogs, and a community desperate for answers. Days of hope gave way to despair as evidence pointed to Butts as the perpetrator. Authorities believe she was murdered shortly after her abduction, driven by anger and control. Tragically, her body has yet to be recovered. Yes Nazia's case exposed critical flaws in handling custody disputes and domestic violence, sparking calls for reform to better protect children in high-conflict situations. Her story became a rallying cry for change, highlighting the vulnerabilities faced by children caught in such circumstances. Jarvis Butts faces multiple charges, including first-degree premeditated murder and criminal sexual conduct. As the legal process unfolds, the nation hopes for justice and closure for Yes Nazia's grieving family. Her tragic case left an indelible scar on Detroit, prompting urgent discussions about systemic change. The case of Jilson Duban Avalar Rodriguez. In San Antonio, Texas, a cold case from 2018 was finally resolved in 2024, bringing justice for Nicholas Trey Milanovich, 23, and Julia Wright, 21. Jilson Duban Avalar Rodriguez was convicted of their murders, which occurred during a calculated robbery that turned deadly. The crime unfolded when Avalar Rodriguez broke into the couple's apartment, intending to steal. Armed and desperate, he fatally shot Milanovich during a confrontation and attacked Wright as she tried to flee. The scene was described as gruesome, with evidence of a violent struggle. The case went unsolved for years until forensic breakthroughs linked Avalar Rodriguez to the murders. Evidence included matching ammunition and a stolen lockbox belonging to the victims. He later confessed, claiming coercion by his girlfriend. After years of delays, the trial began in January 2024. Prosecutors portrayed Avalar Rodriguez as a man driven by greed, while the defense argued he acted under duress. The jury found him guilty of capital murder, sentencing him to life without parole. The case also reignited debates about immigration policy, as Avalar Rodriguez, an undocumented immigrant from Honduras, became a focal point for calls for stricter immigration controls. For the victims' families, the conviction offered some closure, underscoring the enduring pain of their loss and the importance of forensic science in solving cold cases. As unsettling as these stories are, the next case delves into the chilling betrayal of a husband who turned his home into a scene of unimaginable tragedy. In August 2024, the tranquil community of Manassas Park, Virginia, was left reeling when 37-year-old Naresh Bhatt reported his wife, Mamta Kafle Bhatt, missing. Mamta, a 28-year-old pediatric nurse known for her dedication and reliability, vanished without a trace, sparking immediate concern. However, as investigators dug deeper, a sinister story of betrayal and premeditated violence began to surface. Naresh initially told police that Mamta had walked out after an argument and never returned, but neighbors reported hearing loud crashes and shouting on the night of her disappearance, prompting scrutiny of his claims. Forensic evidence uncovered blood in the couple's home, with DNA analysis confirming it belonged to Mamta. Surveillance footage revealed Naresh purchasing cleaning supplies and knives shortly after his wife's disappearance. Further investigation found that he had rented a car during this period, and GPS data led authorities to wooded areas where they conducted extensive searches. Despite these efforts, Mamta's body has not been located. The evidence against Naresh continued to mount. Records showed he had searched online for ways to dispose of a body and explored remarriage options months before Mamta vanished. This, combined with the forensic findings and his suspicious behavior, led to his arrest in December 2024 on charges of first-degree murder and concealing a dead body. Prosecutors argue that Naresh's actions were carefully planned, highlighting his attempts to erase evidence and fabricate a narrative. His defense has yet to present its case, but the charges have drawn national attention, shedding light on the dangers of domestic violence and the often hidden cracks in relationships. Naresh remains in custody as he awaits his trial, set for September 8, 2025. Meanwhile, the community mourns the loss of Mamta, even as her remains remain unfound. Her case has reignited discussions about recognizing the signs of abuse and taking action to prevent such tragedies. This story underscores how darkness can lurk behind seemingly normal lives. But the next case revealed the collapse of an empire built over decades due to allegations that shook the entertainment world. Sean Diddy Combs' allegations. In 2024, Sean Diddy Combs, a prominent figure in hip-hop, faced a significant reckoning as multiple individuals came forward with serious accusations against him. These allegations included misconduct and inappropriate behavior spanning decades, painting a troubling picture of power and exploitation. The accusations were detailed and alarming. One individual alleged Diddy behaved inappropriately after she rejected his advances, while others spoke of manipulation and intimidation. Evidence and patterns in the accounts suggested the severity of the claims warranted further investigation. The aftermath was swift and decisive. Partnerships dissolved, endorsements disappeared, and Diddy's long-standing reputation as a cultural and business icon took a dramatic hit. Fans and observers were divided. Some called for immediate accountability, while others emphasized the importance of due process. In September 2024, Diddy was taken into custody on charges related to organized misconduct and abuse of power. A judge denied bail, citing potential risks, and his trial is set to begin in May 2025. The entertainment industry, already under scrutiny for enabling powerful figures, faced renewed criticism for its culture of silence. This case wasn't just about Diddy. It became a broader commentary on the unchecked power dynamics within the industry. As the story develops, it has ignited global discussions about justice, accountability, and the misuse of influence. Regardless of the final outcome, the allegations against Diddy mark a pivotal moment in the ongoing call for reform in the entertainment world. And while Diddy's case sent shockwaves, another music legend faced allegations that challenged everything fans thought they knew. Jay-Z accusations. Jay-Z, one of hip-hop's most influential figures, was named in a high-profile lawsuit in 2024. The suit accused him of misconduct involving a minor at an industry event in the early 2000s. The accuser, referred to as Jane Doe, was granted anonymity to protect her identity. The allegations were distressing. Jane Doe recounted an incident where she claimed Jay-Z used his status to exert undue influence. She stated that fear and manipulation kept her from coming forward earlier. However, discrepancies in her account became key points for Jay-Z's defense team. Jay-Z has publicly denied the claims, referring to them as a baseless attempt to tarnish his name. His legal team vigorously defended him, even attempting to challenge the accuser's anonymity, a move that drew widespread criticism. Despite his denials, the case has significantly impacted his public image, with intense media scrutiny following every development. Legally, the case is complex. Jay-Z's lawyers argued that the claims were time-barred, while the accuser's team cited legal exceptions related to trauma. The battle has become a defining moment for both parties, with implications far beyond the courtroom. Fans remain divided. Many continue to support Jay-Z, citing his contributions to music and philanthropy, while others struggle to reconcile the accusations with his public persona. This case has once again highlighted the potential for misuse of power and influence within the entertainment world. As the legal proceedings continue, they raise critical questions about accountability and justice. Regardless of the outcome, the allegations have left an indelible mark on Jay-Z's legacy. And as Jay-Z's case unfolds, another legal battle brought renewed attention to a decades-old family tragedy. Menendez brothers' resurgence. In 2024, the Menendez brothers, Eric and Lyle, found themselves back in the national spotlight as new evidence reopened debates surrounding their decades-old case. Convicted in 1996 for the deaths of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, the brothers have long maintained that their actions were driven by fear and years of mistreatment. This year, newly revealed details added depth to their claims, challenging public perception of their motives. The resurgence began with testimony from Roy Rosselló, a former member of the 1980s boy band Menudo, who alleged misconduct by Jose Menendez during his teenage years. This shocking revelation aligned with the brothers' claims of enduring similar treatment at the hands of their father, lending new credibility to their defense. Adding to this was the discovery of a letter written by Eric Menendez in 1988, months before the tragic incident. In the letter, Eric detailed his experiences and expressed fear for his safety, supporting the idea that their actions were born of desperation rather than greed or malice. The evidence prompted Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon to re-evaluate the case, suggesting that the brothers' actions, though severe, should be reconsidered in the context of the abuse they endured. Gascon recommended resentencing, which could potentially allow for parole after more than 30 years in prison. Originally scheduled for December 2024, a hearing to address the resentencing was postponed to January 2025. Advocates for the brothers argue that their life sentences were disproportionate and failed to account for the trauma they experienced. Even some extended family members of Jose Menendez have expressed support for leniency, acknowledging the devastating impact of unresolved abuse. This case has reignited national conversations about how the justice system handles victims of prolonged trauma and abuse. Documentaries, media coverage, and public debates have delved into the Menendez family's tragic history, forcing a re-evaluation of whether the brothers acted out of survival instincts rather than cold calculation. As the resentencing hearing approaches, the case continues to spark emotional and legal discussions. Regardless of the outcome, it remains a powerful reminder of the complexities surrounding justice, trauma, and accountability. Matthew Muller wasn't just a criminal. He was a calculated predator who thrived on instilling fear and exerting control. Best known for the 2015 Gone Girl kidnapping of Denise Huskins, Muller faced new charges in December 2024, exposing a chilling history of crimes that spanned over a decade. These charges revealed a disturbing pattern of meticulously planned home invasions dating back to 2009. Prosecutors detailed how Muller targeted women, breaking into their homes during the night, restraining them, and in some cases drugging them. The emotional and psychological toll of these attacks was profound, leaving victims traumatized and their sense of safety shattered. Muller's calm, methodical approach heightened the terror he caused. Investigators linked Muller to these crimes through key evidence, including DNA and stolen items found during his 2015 arrest. His Harvard education and intellectual prowess enabled him to evade detection for years. Authorities have now connected him to unsolved home invasions in Mountain View and Palo Alto, California. Already serving a 40-year federal sentence for the Denise Huskins kidnapping and an additional 31-year state sentence for related charges, the 2024 allegations highlight significant systemic failures in identifying and stopping repeat offenders. Public outrage mounted, questioning how such crimes could persist unchecked for so long. The case reignited urgent conversations about improving law enforcement's ability to track and apprehend serial offenders. While Muller's defense team has not commented on the latest charges, these new allegations all but ensure he will spend the rest of his life behind bars, a stark reminder of the calculated cruelty some criminals exhibit. Daniel Penny case. Daniel Penny, a Marine veteran, became a polarizing figure in 2024 following his trial for the death of Jordan Neely, a homeless man, on a New York City subway. The incident occurred on May 1st, 2023, when Neely began shouting at passengers, alarming some but posing no immediate threat. Penny, claiming he feared for passenger safety, restrained Neely in a chokehold for several minutes, ultimately causing Neely's death. The city's medical examiner ruled Neely's death a homicide due to neck compression. Penny was charged with second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. His defense maintained he acted in self-defense, but prosecutors argued that his military training should have made him aware of the chokehold's fatal risks. The trial was deeply divisive. Supporters hailed Penny as a protector, while critics viewed his actions as excessive and reflective of systemic privilege. After intense legal proceedings, Penny was acquitted of criminally negligent homicide in December 2024, while the manslaughter charge had been dismissed earlier due to a jury deadlock. The case sparked nationwide protests and debates about systemic neglect of homeless and mentally ill individuals. Neely's death became a rallying cry for better mental health resources and social safety nets. Penny's trial raised critical questions about self-defense, privilege, and the value of human life. Although the legal proceedings are over, the broader societal issues and debates surrounding the case remain unresolved. On December 22, 2024, New York City was rocked by an unthinkable tragedy when 33-year-old Sebastian Zapata Khalil set a woman on fire in a subway car, resulting in her death. The victim, 57-year-old Debrina Kawam, was doused in gasoline at the Coney Island subway station, and the flames quickly engulfed the subway car. Despite the desperate efforts of passengers to help, Kawam succumbed to her injuries. Zapata Khalil fled the scene, but was quickly identified through surveillance footage. His background revealed a history of mental health struggles and a previous deportation in 2018, after which he re-entered the United States illegally. The attack raised urgent questions about public transportation safety and mental health care. Advocates and officials called for stronger interventions to support individuals facing severe mental health challenges, urging greater resources for both public safety and mental health services. Zapata Khalil faces serious charges, including first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and first-degree arson. His case has sparked national debates about the balance between mental health support and public safety, and the vulnerability of passengers in mass transit systems. As the legal process unfolds, this tragic event continues to serve as a reminder of the need for systemic changes to prevent similar acts of violence in the future. Killeen Mall Incident. On December 21, 2024, the Killeen Mall in Texas became the site of a devastating event that left the community reeling. A high-speed police chase ended tragically when 53-year-old John Darrell Schultz crashed his pickup truck through the front doors of a JCPenney store. Armed and dangerous, Schultz caused chaos, injuring 5 people ranging in age from 6 to 75, and triggering panic among shoppers and employees. Off-duty officers at the mall quickly intervened, leading to a shootout that ultimately ended Schultz's life. Authorities later clarified that this was not an active shooter situation, but the violent culmination of Schultz's desperate attempt to evade capture. Despite this distinction, the incident underscored the vulnerabilities of public spaces, raising concerns about mall security and police response protocols. As investigations continue, the victims recover, and the community grapples with the emotional aftermath. The event serves as a stark reminder of how quickly normalcy can be disrupted by violence. Fentanyl robbery gang indictments. In 2024, a criminal syndicate known as the Fentanyl Robbery Gang faced federal indictments for orchestrating a series of deadly crimes across 7 states. Using dating apps to lure victims, the gang drugged them with fentanyl-laced substances before robbing them. Many victims unknowingly ingested the potent drug, leading to fatal overdoses that were initially mistaken for accidental drug use. The gang's deceptive tactics and the scale of their operations shocked the nation, with over 40 victims affected. This case not only exposed the dangerous intersection of technology and crime, but also highlighted the devastating impact of the fentanyl epidemic. Public outcry intensified, prompting calls for greater accountability from online platforms and stronger measures to combat the misuse of synthetic opioids. The indictment marked a significant step in dismantling the gang, but the tragedy of their actions left a lasting impact, sparking national discussions on online safety, the opioid crisis, and criminal exploitation of digital platforms. Milana Lee case, a tragic loss in Oregon. In May 2022, the murder of 13-year-old Milana Lee shocked the quiet community of Beaverton, Oregon. Milana, a bright and well-loved middle school student, disappeared on May 8, 2022, after leaving her apartment complex. A frantic search ended in heartbreak when her body was discovered the following day in a shallow creek at Westside Linear Park. Investigators quickly determined that her death was the result of foul play, with an autopsy revealing she had been brutally assaulted and killed. The senseless loss of such a young life ignited fear and outrage in the community, as residents struggled to comprehend how such violence could happen in their peaceful town. Milana's story became a rallying cry for justice and safety, reminding the nation of the importance of vigilance and community support in protecting the most vulnerable. If you found these stories as compelling and thought-provoking as I have, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. We're just getting started, and there are so many more stories to share. Join the conversation, share your thoughts in the comments below, and become part of our growing community. Until next time, stay safe and keep questioning the world around you.